Bear with me, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DAG 360. In fact, why do I even have to say that? That's an unspoken thing. Everyone has to bear with me. Welcome to Suffering and Pain on DG 360. You love it. You can't get enough. I'm going to watch this with you, and we're going to see how much we can watch, because every time we mention Web3, right, or crypto or blockchain, like there's a lot of people that get mad in the gaming world. But I am very interested in this title called Star Atlas. I've been very vocal about Star Atlas. I've had my moments where I've been happy with it. I have my moments where I've been upset with it. I've, like I got upset recently what Michael Wagner did to our friend the Eradicator, and there's a lot of things, and there, it's pretty interesting because people in the Star Atlas community, they either love me or hate me, and it's pretty interesting because in the Star Citizen community, people will either love me or hate me, and it's also pretty interesting because this stream. Right now, my face on your television or your phone, people either love me or hate me. I'm a very polarizing figure. I just accredit it to my face. It's either a really lovable or hateable face. Like, really, I'm presenting you one or the other, and you've got to make a decision. You can't just be neutral on this one. My face won't let you. Now, I'm sorry.
I'm in a fountain.
I don't even know what I mean, and that's probably why you're here. Now, let's watch this because I'm going to say right now, so everybody understands that I may be a little bit biased when I watch this because I am a Solana bag holder. I like what Solana's trying to do. I like the creator. His name's Anatoly. I won't get into it. I won't explain the details of it. I just simply want to watch a festival that they have every year called BreakPoint. And it's Solana BreakPoint, which is packed, by the way. It was packed. It was a good showing. It's for people that want Web3 gaming. Okay, it's for people that want a blockchain that's super fast, that's transaction speeds are off the charts. Okay, and I'm a fan, and I like what it is that Solana is trying to do, which is to provide like primarily fast transaction speeds for financial institutions with less fees for customers. I can't stand fees. I can't stand these credit card fees. I can't stand banking fees. Okay, they're always like 2.25% or higher. Everywhere you go, they're taking their cut. It's ridiculous. Solana Pay and what Solana is doing takes 0.00025% out, which is fractionally, infinitesimally small, and will change the payment industry forever because it's a black hole and sucking in the entire financial institutions and killing the legacy surrounding financials that are still existing, and they're all going to have to adopt to it whether they like it or not because it's tech, because it's technology. And we all know what happens. We all know something called the internet. We remember what happened. We remember how it was introduced, right? All remember like AOL and email and how it was just a big joke, and this could never turn into something. And here's this bald dude right now speaking to you. Hi, welcome to the internet. I'm sorry. This is how it evolved and progressed. Run away to the woods. But this is kind of what's going to happen with the payment system that I currently see is going to be replaced by a cheaper one because people and banks and institutions are going to want to adopt lower fees. They all want it. Even banks want lower fees. So I'm very curious to see Star Atlas being presented, which is a game that's going to be Web3 if they can create it, if they can get through the money that they're burning through, okay? That's going to give us a chance to own digital assets. I'm not going to get into that discussion. You can look it up if you're interested on YouTube. I could talk about it all day long, okay? Ownership or the ability to own something, right, will bring people back. When you can own something and it has a tangible value and you can do something in the real world with it, that type of gaming will bring people back. It's going from Blockbuster to Netflix. It's just going to happen in some form or format or capacity. I think the Star Atlas has the ability to do it even in spite of itself. because it's tripping over itself left and right. Now I'm going to watch this particular video talking about Solana being, or talking about Star Atlas being presented by Michael Wagner, the CEO of Star Atlas, at Solana BreakPoint. Let's get into this being introduced by a channel called Paul Barron Network. And this dude is very knowledgeable when it comes to blockchain. So let's see what his take of it is. And I will also give you my take. And if we can't get through this, we'll skip it. Let's go.
Here we go into Breakpoint Day 3 and breaking down a lot of news on the Solana ecosystem. We'll be diving in deep to some interesting advancements around Solana. You guys don't want to miss this. We got a bunch of clips for you, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So stick around. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path.
What you don't realize is I actually saved you guys by 20 minutes because I was going to watch the entire Solana presentation. I know hardcore Star Atlas fans are pissed off at me right now because I'm not watching the actual 40-minute long version of it at Breakpoint, but Paul's going to slice it down to like 20-ish minutes. And I wanted to do that because I want it to be digestible.
Just start off, if you have not seen some of our Solana videos here this week, and the reason we're putting so many of these out, just so if you're new to the channel, maybe you're new to crypto, Solana has this massive event called Breakpoint every year, and it's where all of the advancements, all the ecosystems come, and everybody's really kind of dropping a lot of new stuff. With that, we've had 3 videos out here, so you'll be able to see this third one here. But go over to our YouTube page and just click on the Solana blockchain playlist, and you can kind of pick up where, you know, maybe you're behind. So anyway, let's kick off to this first clip here. And I want to go into this around the Star Atlas update. So take a look.
So the big feature release of 2.2 is a competitive combat.
Oh, everybody said that, Sketch. CNBC said that. They've doubted every single drop. Bitcoin has gone up parabolically since its inception. Look at the long-term chart. There's no denying it. It goes from the bottom left to the top right, you know? And what Sketch is trying to tell you right now is it doesn't matter, and Bitcoin doesn't matter as money in a time and an environment where it really means everything, in my opinion, because your fiat currency is not going to be worth as much as it is tomorrow or that it was yesterday. So every day it's going to continue to be diluted. We're seeing it right now in prices around us in America, hardcore. We're seeing it in gas. We're seeing it in food. You know, everybody calls it inflation. Everybody's like, oh, inflation, inflation, inflation. What they need to say is it's deflation of the value of the dollar because of our government printing so much money. So much money. Your dollar is being devalued, and you're part of an empire that doesn't see it's falling because you're seeing it from within the empire. Simple as that. You're diluting yourself. Again, my opinion.
Ground racing course.
Sketch says, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about the trash altcoins. And last time we talked, I had to teach you about the value of the dollar because you were out of the loop. Remember, you didn't teach me anything, Sketch. Don't try and pull a fast one on me, bro. You're trying to like one up me with your dialogue. I'm going to squash that down right now. You did not teach me anything about the value of the dollar. It's gone down ever since 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard. It's in every chart. Look at that dollar plummet. The second that America didn't make good on its debts and said, peace out, we don't need to pay anybody gold for our debts, that's the second the dollar went down the fucking toilet, Sketch. Okay? Okay.
With 2.2, you're going to have access to ship configuration on-chain, ship mastery on-chain, and character progression, or XP systems, fully on-chain. This creates massive opportunity for
I don't know how that's, like, how custom can you make it? Like, that would be cool. All of this on-chain is actually very cool if, in fact, you can really, 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 really customize these skins, because then you could actually sell them. And you could sell them and make real money because they'd be digital skins that you created, and that would be worth something. But I don't know how much that's going to be worth. Like, to me, that doesn't make me that excited. I like that they're doing it on chain. That's probably going to add transactional value to Solana, to the blockchain. There's probably, I would probably say that Star Atlas is a good 10 to 20% of the transactional daily volume, I would probably tell you, is Star Atlas. Star Atlas is very huge to Solana's transactional volume. I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's about 10 to 20% because of everything on chain right now with Star Atlas.
Creators to customize, mint, and sell their own skins.
Star Atlas is going to be I think, one of the major game breakouts for Web3. You can kind of see it in their graph.
It's still up in the air to me. I'm 50-50 on this. I'm 50-50 on Star Atlas being able to be the one to do this. And primarily I'm directing that skepticism at Michael Wagner. I think people have been following this channel enough to know what my thoughts are on Star Atlas. I get a lot of heat from Star Atlas people, right? I get a lot of heat from Star Citizen people. I'm just telling you where my frame of mind is at. I think it's important.
Graphics, but they've got a lot happening here. I want to go over to this next clip talking about the mobile app. Listen in.
So Star Atlas Crew is a fitness trainer and a little variation of the move to earn genre. You can walk, run, cycle, level up your crew members, and collect loot along the way.
Pretty unique. And the creativity that they've continued to build into the ecosystem there, I think is pretty good. This is Michael Wagner there on screen, in case you don't know, the CEO of Star Atlas. He's been on our show before. We're probably going to get him back because it's a lot happening right.
I'm not quite sure like I'm kind of feeling the same as the chat right now. I'm not quite sure that that's that important. That's like, what it reminds me of is like the offline skilling you did in EVE Online, but they're rewarding you for doing it. They're probably making something on the fact that there's the amount of transactional volume happening when your character does that is on the blockchain. So perhaps they're getting some value out of that somehow. But I don't know how that would be like amazing for any game other than you're getting rewards. Like what's going to happen is you're going to skill your characters to add more transactions to the blockchain. And at the same time, you'll get rewards in the game that way. So there's got to be a back end to it on how Star Atlas is making money. I would think somehow. Otherwise, why do that? I'm not quite sure why they would do that.
Right now, let's go over to the Crew Packs clip. This will explain it a little bit further. Listen in.
So today, I'm very excited to announce the up-and-coming recruitment packs. These come in sets of 5 with rarities, traits, and characteristics. And beyond crew members, these are also going to serve as your Star Atlas PFP.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And don't worry for you guys that already have shipped.
Like your character's an NFT? That's actually kind of cool, man. Because that can track like everything that you are, like all your items, all your modifications. That one QR code that's basically the QR code to your wallet address is the NFT of your character so that you can sell your character. That's a cool idea. That's actually a pretty cool idea. I'm going to applaud that. I like that. So you're going to have people that are doing this, by the way. You're going to have people farming characters. So they're going to buff up the character. They're going to give it like the best, coolest gear, a cool look, and then they're going to sell them. And then they're just going to sell them because they'll be NFTs. And then you'll be able to play with that character because it's attached to your wallet. And then, boom, you res up as the character in the game. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of dig that.
PFP. And don't worry for you guys that already have ships with crew members on them. You'll be getting some crew packs as well.
Speaking of PFPs, during BreakPoint, there was a lot of activations that were happening in Amsterdam. This is one of them by Repost Coffee. So you'll be able to actually get a PFP right there. You can kind of see it on your latte. So very cool stuff out there for sure. All right, so jumping over here to back to cool. Atlas, and this is going more on the multiplayer by Metagravity. Listen in.
What I also didn't mention is that we're adding full multiplayer support with the R2.2 release. Now,
and what you're about to see, this is very hot off the presses. The current milestone that we wanted to present is around the 30,000K stress test that we did.
Wait a second. They had 31,000 people on the server? The server population was 31,000? Or they're just bringing in, are they bringing in bots? Remember that when Dual Universe did that? And they said that it was all players and then it was like bots. Remember that? I did a piece about that a couple years back when Dual Universe came out, and Dual Universe was like, oh, we got like 30,000 plus players. And then we found out later down the road that like over like 18 or 20,000 of them were actually like bots that they placed down. You remember that? But like, they're just trying to see like what network activity is and how much they can load. Probably. I don't know. Maybe they're just loading it up.
Show a bit of deeds first and then CryptoStar after.
Wow. Wait, I don't know. I don't know if that's actual players or if they're just filling it up for a test with bots. One is more impressive than the other if those are all players, but I'm very skeptical that those are all players. The second option, the latter option, being that they're loaded with NPCs and bots, still it's an important test to have on your server. And the fact that it runs smoothly with that many entities is pretty damn good. So, I mean, like, you know, both are okay scenarios, but I would love it if this was all player. I would love it if these were all players. Right.
You guys are really, right. I think, leveling up the game development for sure in terms of Web3
right,
and
Jess.
maybe setting the standard for what we'll see in the future.
Jess says they should show the server FPS. They absolutely should. That would have been good to have, Jess.
Around a lot of these projects that are going out. I want to go to another clip here. This is talking about game shift, and this could have a pretty big impact on Immutable X. So if you guys are, IMX fans, this is one clip you want to watch. Listen in.
Going and finding the vendors, knowing what questions to ask, doing the diligence, doing the contracting, getting them all to work together, and so on and so forth, was almost as difficult or more difficult than just going and building it themselves. And so what we discovered is there was a gap here. And so this is why we built GameShift. And what this allows is for developers to bring blockchain into their game without any blockchain programming experience. We knew we could achieve this by building a walled garden or a closed ecosystem and just doing this in a private way. For a number.
So Koob asked a really good question, and I'm sorry to keep stopping this because we do have some content to get through here, but I think it's a question worth answering. Koob says, apart from, hey, we have NFTs, what is it that Star Atlas is offering me as a gamer? It's like, first off, that is one of the most excellent questions ever when it comes to this particular title. Koob. Because as a gamer, you're just worried about the game, right? This is what I continually focus on with the management at Star Atlas, Michael Wagner, the people that are working there. One of the devs and the community manager is actually in our Discord and watches us when we talk about Star Atlas. And this is a message I have been pounding in the heads of everybody in the Star Atlas network, is always, always focus on the game first. Always, always, always the game. What they're doing here transactionally, like on Solana blockchain, freaking amazing. So when Koob's asking me like, okay, here, like besides NFTs, what is Star Atlas offering me? And I'm going to say this not just about Star Atlas, but I'm going to say this about Web3. Web3 gaming is going to give you the ability to own your character, to own the digital assets that are in the game. Some of them are going to be very unique. Some of them are going to be very, very exotic and very limited. There's only going to be a scarce amount of it. And if the game or whatever game makes it that gets popular, those items will be worth something. So you remember back in the day playing PUBG on Steam, how you could sell the items on, I think they still have a market. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But do you remember how you would get items out of PUBG and you could just like sell them through Steam and get like Steam rewards and Steam cash? You remember that? It's really no different. It's really no different because now you're going to own these, but you're going to have a quick and easy way to transact. You're going to have a quick and easy way to transact. And basically, Web3 is going to bring ownership. Ownership, I think, and gaming go hand in hand. But everybody's been given a bad taste in their mouth about this because they introduced it as the metaverse. They completely tripped over their own feet. And the people that just wanted to make a quick buck and give everybody like that hot news and then pull the rug under them have done it. And that's the reason why we had a bear market in crypto partially was because there were so many people for the money grab, right? And just like anything in life, this is just excluding crypto and blockchain and Web3, excluding all this, right? That's the way it's been since the beginning of time with human beings when something new is introduced. You get the people that come in that want the quick buck and the bang out of it because they want to take advantage of you, right? But then you have people that are left behind that continue to build. That's how you filter out the snake oil salesman. That's how you filter it out. You look in the worst of times in the bear markets when there's no liquidity and you see what projects are working still and building, and then you say, aha, there's some legitimacy to this particular entity. That's how I analyze a lot of blockchain that I look at. I say, what does it do? What are you doing? Are you serving a purpose that's going to be adopted? Are you creating something that somebody can get behind? Is it a technology that's going to be helpful, right? Web3 and gaming go hand in hand, if you ask me. Gamers in their heart own their characters without even having to worry about, you got intrinsic value just because you've attached yourself to your character from the very get-go. I spend 20 minutes on the character selection screen trying to make my character as unique as possible, right? I feel I have this ownership already from the bat. Then if you're talking about a game that's like an MMO sandbox where you can build things and craft items, I feel like I have ownership of that. Right? Now, if you can attach an actual value to these things and you can trade them for real life like benefits, sign me up. I love it. I love the idea. But it was introduced horribly. It was introduced by snake oil salesmen. And it doesn't matter because over the march of time, things will change because the evolution of technology will just make it that way. And it's like, good luck trying to fight that. Do you think you have that kind of like that particular type of strength and power to push that back? I don't think so.
Number of reasons we decided that did not make sense. And so we've retained in the product the ability for players to move assets out into the broader ecosystem, and where we've been able to.
I don't think that was esoteric at all. I think that was pretty on point for people that understand like what digital assets are. I could get into a conversation sketch about digital assets because a lot of people think that digital assets aren't going to be worth anything, but they are. They already are. They already are. I don't have to argue it. They already are. You know why they're worth something? Because people are willing to pay it. It's supply and demand. And if there's a limited supply, it's more scarce, and there's people more demand than supply, the price goes up. That's how it is. It's already that way. There's already value attached to it. There's already value attached to it. It's not even an argument sketch. It's nothing you can argue with. There's nothing you can argue. It's already got a value attached to it. If it goes to zero, it wasn't meant to be. But there's a lot of things that aren't going to zero, you know?
We've integrated on the back end with existing protocols.
That's a whole nother market. Let's go.
To make sure that this is as open of an ecosystem as possible. Developers never need to have a developer wallet. Users never have to have their own wallet coming in. No one has to deal with SOL tokens. No one has. In
the case of this, LC, you're absolutely right. You know, we need to see people that want to create the game first. We need people, and this is the part of me that resonates the strongest when I watch anything Web3 oriented is if you are doing this, you have to do this for the love of making the game. And it goes back to my point. I want to see the creators getting into this realm, talk about the game, love the game, be passionate about the game. Not so much the transactional side, not so much the blockchain side. I get why they're doing this. They're at the BreakPoint festival, right? BreakPoint's talking about Solana. They want to get across why Star Atlas is valuable to the chain and why the chain is valuable to Star Atlas. There's a synergy here that's very important. So they're going to talk about the transactional side of things because they have to, because they feel the need to, right? Because this is early stages of adoption. This is the make it or break it phase. And they've got, and you know what? I've seen the numbers on Solana, tons of developers coming in, tons of people developing on the chain. It's in a bear market, it's thriving. In terms of people that are developing on it, there's quite a bit. And it's interesting to see because that adoption rate continues to grow. But how far can it grow? I don't know. Visa picked them up. That's pretty good adoption for Solana. Visa picked them up because of smaller transaction fees, because of fast transaction times. Visa picked them up. They're looking into it. It's Visa. It's Visa. It seems like there might be some value attached to Solana.
Has to pay gas fees and no one has to manage keys. We take care of
But in this genre, it has to be about the game first.
all of that in the back end. We're working with MetaKeep for their amazing self-custody wallet.
You know, I'm seeing like, where is the BMM NFT? And Jess, that's good. The BMM is a Banu Merchantman. It's a ship inside of Star Citizen. And I will say this, the interesting thing about this, taking Star Citizen in an NFT format would completely make the gray market completely easier. It's an evolution to the gray market. Like, if you think about it that way, NFTs aren't so stupid. I know plenty of people that sell on the gray market. They buy ships and they sell them on an outside site to people that want to buy ships and ship packages in Star Citizen for a cheaper price. NFTs, blockchain, Web3 gaming makes it easier for people to sell and buy ships. Period. It's an evolution to the gray market. That's all it is. As simple as that. In terms of NFTs and ships. Simple as that. That's the data. That's the science.
Wallets. They're super smooth for users. Working with Crossmint for their compressed NFT minting. We're working with CoinFlow for fiat payments acceptance. Meanwhile, we had a developer build a demo game for us, and I was speaking with him the other night, and he said it took him 1 hour to integrate all the blockchain features of game.
Yeah, so Sketch says, so Solana would make it possible for me to get an 890 in-game. Gotcha. It would make it available to make it in-game, out-of-game. You could sell it with the ease of like two taps and you've sold it. You can keep your original configuration, your BMM ship figure creation, all the slots, all the guns, everything ready to go every single time, stored on the blockchain, loads up the same way that you left it with all the items in it, everything ready to go. Quick as that, simple as that. So it also does that too, Sketch, which you can't tell me that's not cool. Like, if you're saying that's not cool, I don't know how to help you, bro. I don't know how to help you. No, it does. It does, Sketch. Yes, it's all there. It's as easy as data retrieval on the blockchain. It's the fastest speeds ever of any blockchain. You pull it up just like you got it. That's the NFT. That's what this is, dude. That's what these QR codes are. That's what NFTs are, man. The data's all in it. It's all in it, ready to go. And then you can transact it. You can do whatever you want with it. You can buy it. You can sell it.
Game Shift, to give you a sense. And so with that, I'm extremely proud to announce that Game Shift is now in open.
Listen, Sketch, I love you, bro. I love you. But we really disagree on this. And that's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree.
Beta. Yeah.
This, to me, is probably one of the bigger announcements because it does create a new evolution of how devs will be able to kind of engage with.
Listen, I'm not going to give you a sales pitch for a Sketch. I've literally told you what you can do with it. If you don't like it, just because you want to not like it, because that's all I see. Like, when I see you talk, Sketch, all I see is that you are just so not willing to listen. All I see is somebody that's not willing to listen. I told you everything cool about it. The reasons why I love it. If you don't love it for those reasons, Sketch, you're never going to love it, bro. It's okay. I'm not talking to you about it anymore because you're not willing to listen. It's okay, dude. It's okay.
What's happening in Web3.
I don't want you to buy it.
Speaking of that,
I don't care. You can do what you want, man. I'm telling you my opinions. This is called DG360. It's not called Sketch Therapy 360. You're here watching me and my opinions. Okay? I'm taking the time to answer your questions. You don't have to buy it. I'm not trying to sell it. Like, I don't know what you're saying, Sketch. Sketch, I don't get you sometimes, bro. It's okay. It's okay.
Here's Neon EVM. This is a good example of projects that are starting to leap forward from Ethereum into the Solana ecosystem. So I've got a clip for you that kind of explains this a little bit further. Let's go to that one.
On the Solana, we have Neon EVM program. It's a smart contract.
Oh, let's go. That was a perfectly timed alert, dude. Perfectly timed alert.
And it will process your transaction. You can deploy any contract, any source code which can be compiled by any
Oh, Coob, thank you, man. Coob. Thank you.
compilers from Ethereum ecosystem. And Ethereum ecosystem has a lot of compilers like Solidity, like Viper, like Yule Plus, Hub, Fay, and others. You can get database feeds from Chainlink, which is working on the Solana. And
I got it,
on this slide,
Jokes.
you can see the wide range of development tools from the Ethereum ecosystem, which can be used on the Solana. And I'm happy to announce today that Neon EVM signed a partnership with Debris.
Yeah, let's go. Or I'm sorry, what Daft says, Solana logo gives me movie production studio vids. yeah. I kind of get that vibe too, dude.
Neon EVM will be connected to other EVM chains.
Dude, I haven't got any yet. Sketch. I'm still kind of, I told you from day one, I'm still 50-50 on Star Atlas, you know? Sketch wants me to get going on this. He's like, dude, buy a ship already. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like I want to, but then Michael Wagner does something and I'm just like, you know, Michael Wagner keeps tripping and I'm like, So like, I'm still 50-50 on Star Atlas. I'm 110% on Solana, but I am like 50-50 on Star Atlas.
Like Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, and others.
All right, so essentially think ETH dApps on Solana. That's kind of the connection point here. Neon, if you're following it over on CoinMarketCap, you can kind of see the quick move here that's happening within that. So this is a good example of how some of this innovation is affecting different projects out there, obviously from, you know, a financial side of things.
By the way, don't let this chart fool you, okay? It looks like, oh, wow, oh, look at that big spike. Don't let this chart fool you. For the past 2 years, crypto has been tanking 80, 85%, 90%, some things 95%. This is a harsh winter. This is a harsh winter for a lot of bag holders, right? So this spike here that you're seeing that's going from like 8 cents to 25 cents. Wow, you just 3 times your money. You just 3 times your money. This is why people get into it also, man. I mean, imagine 3 times your money in the span of like a month. Imagine that. Shit. Crazy, man. But it's very speculative. But if you scale back this chart, I can guarantee you that this particular token was in the dollar range, man.
Different projects out there, obviously from, you know, a financial side of things. This year has surprised me in terms of BreakPoint. And I think if you've been following Sol up the charts here recently over the past few days, but these are the kind of advancements I think that are really matter.
Sometimes I think that Backspace, Paul Barron was paid to report on this. Sometimes I think that with his style, he's a little bit stiff. You know what I mean, Backspace? I feel like, I don't know, Paul. Paul comes legit, though, because, like, he's actually said sometimes when he's talking about a token, he's like, okay, I'm like a bag holder or, like, I've been endorsed to do this. So I've seen him report that he's actually, you know, sponsored by something. If I was doing this type of content, I would not match myself up with any of them. Like, I would just be like, here, I'm going to report on it. I'm going to tell you what I think of it. I'm going to tell you maybe price predictions or where I expect things to go. But I am not going to like be like, oh, this message brought to you by Avalanche. You know what I mean?
Moving Web3 forward, but also just
I don't think he does a lot of that.
What's happening in blockchain. This is a clip on Solana Bolt. Listen into this.
Today we are introducing a new framework for on-chain games. There are frameworks that try to simplify the developer experience, but the fundamental trade-off that every single one of these frameworks is doing is they are compromising performance to composability. We're incredibly excited to present Bolt, which is a high-performance and composable SVM-based on-chain framework. Bolt is modular.
Now, what this allows to unlock is really to have a full new category of games being built on the blockchain. So you can have low latency, high throughput games, as you would with a traditional multiplayer game server, but still being able to compose with everything that is available on the layer. One unified ecosystem, everyone enriching a single state machine.
All right, so a lot happening there. You guys will probably look back on this, and maybe if you're watching this in the future and going, wow, this was happening back in 2023, and all of this innovation around gaming on the blockchain started then. That's a good example of this. Here's Star Atlas kind of talking a little bit further around fully on-chain gaming. Listen in.
So Sage, or Star Atlas Golden Era, is a browser-based real-time strategy game. When I say RTS, I do mean reading and writing to Solana in real time. This was very simple. It was fully on-chain, movement, and coordinate system. The result of all of that, this data is actually a little bit outdated just in the last week, but we've done over 30 million transactions on Solana since September, making up between 10 and 15% of the total Solana network transaction volume on any given day.
I'm in a fountain.
I was pretty dead on. I said 10 to 20. I said 10 to 20. Star Atlas is pretty big. Star Atlas is pretty big for Solana. If they're doing that, man, Solana better be kissing some Star Atlas ass. For real. For real. That puts things in perspective, doesn't it? You know, because Star Atlas is so small and just starting out. Solana is only a couple years old, you know, if you really think about it. So, you know, when you're speculating, just be very careful. You know, just be very careful. I've been buying Solana since I've found out about it, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there when I can with discretionary income. And I feel very comfortable in it, you know. It's just like discretionary, you know. You just got to be careful when you do this type of stuff. But like, if Star Atlas is doing 10 to 15% of Solana's transactional volume a day, then like Star Atlas is a pretty big part to the amount of data that's being put onto Solana's blockchain. That's crazy. I didn't believe I'd be right on that. I can't even believe that I was right on that. It is 10 to 20%. That's crazy.
But the future of Sage is 3D. We're calling that release star-based. Now we can take a look at what we have in store for you.
So they're trying. So I think primarily what they're doing with Sage is just trying to see what Solana can handle in terms of the data, transactional data. Everything you're seeing in here is being written to the chain, back and forth. So there's communication from this to the chain. All these actions are creating transactions. It's interesting. That's interesting.
Every single action you saw in that demo is executed on Solana.
Wow.
That is a big...
That's pretty amazing that Solana can handle that throughput. That's only a web-based tabletop game that I'm seeing right now. I would like to see it in action within what currently is being played. I mean, like, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. You know, that's pretty big.
Big statement, because what you're seeing happening right now is going to translate to other industries. It's going to translate to payments. It's going to translate to securities.
Yep.
All sorts of things that we'll start to see being used within the Solana ecosystem. So this may be the very first
it's not,
of the...
Sketch says it's not executed on Solana because Solana isn't a game engine. No. You're misunderstanding. The transactional, the items, you know, like the things that have value attached to them, anytime you're trading, all that gets recorded through Solana. So those are all transactions. So Solana is actually taking data from the game, and those transactions are going into Solana. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Sketch?
The front of what we'll see going forward in Solana. This is another clip talking about a social app. It's called Buddy Link within the game. And this is going to be important because this will, I think, open up some very interesting opportunities for the development of Web3 gaming in the future. Listen in.
We're seeing that businesses are spending $15K a month.
Well, the game engine's unreal. The game engine that they're using is unreal.
On all these types of engagement tools that they could really get started for free. You have referrals, that's our bread and butter. We have loyalty programs, battle passes that you've probably seen in kind of AAA games and things like that. All of these things engage.
This is not just exclusive to Web3 gaming, though. You know what I'm saying, Backspace? Backspace says the death of gaming at the hands of corpo greed and people who just don't care about the game. You're going to have that within we already have that in the AAA industry. You already have that with Activision Blizzard. You already have that with Microsoft. You already have that with currently what we have in the AAA gaming sector. It's just dependent upon, who's the creators, right? Which is one of the reasons why I gravitate to Cloud Imperium. That's one of the reasons why I love Star Citizen, because I know that the man behind Star Citizen was a geeky motherfucker that created awesome games that I happen to love, So I know he's passionate about creating the game, which frankly is why I think Star Citizen is so goddamn successful, or at least partly, is because he's a dude just like me who likes to create things for people. He's a creator. So like you will have those people in the Web3 space though. You know what I'm saying, Backspaced? It's probably, I don't know if it's going to be Star Atlas or not. I think Star Atlas is the best shot that I've seen so far, right? But you're going to have people that are actually interested in creating the game in Web3. And they want the Web3 capability because it's going to be drawing people in, because people are going to want to own things, because people like to own things,
Engage users and keep them coming back and keep them looking for more. I really want to note that these businesses charge a lot of money for their services. If you have to use multiple ones of these providers, you're then starting to manage a bunch of different API keys. You have to kind of contact them all the time. You're talking to their tech support. It's kind of like a whole mess. And so what we've done is we've simplified the entire thing. And we're really happy to present Buddy, which is a next generation referral marketing hub.
So what we're really trying to solve here is getting people into Web3, getting them in safely.
Yeah, they've got to solve that. I would say they have to solve that. You can see the landscape is not too friendly, dude. You can see that the landscape is not very friendly because the way it was introduced, like I said at the very beginning, was so badly done. They tripped over their feet. They fell flat on their face until their nose punched through the back of their head. That's how badly they introduced it through the metaverse. Boy, man. Boy. They got some backstepping to do. They got to refigure themselves out. It's a new industry, man. It's a new industry until they realize the one essential thing that it's essential. Gamers love the game. Period. You see it here. You see it in the chat. You see it on Star Atlas comments on their page. You see it everywhere you go. Gamers want the game always first. It's a very simple thing.
But then also trying to get projects to work together.
So now if you refer one person to one system, they are now monetizable across all of those systems. Or if it's your friend, you guys can earn rewards from each other across all of the different products that you use, be it a game, be it a marketplace, be it a DeFi exchange. If Joe and I both decide to actually refer Calvin, we can split that attribution 50-50. We're very happy to introduce one of our very close friends, the founder. And
so they're paying you to bring people in. They're paying you to bring people in is what they're doing. Like, this is what I see as the obstacle, right? The taste is the viscerally toxic taste in the mouth of most gamers in this space. It's going to be a hard sell. Right? Until people are playing it and it's very easy, right? They're trying to make the interfaces as simple as possible. You can see it right here. They're trying to make the entrance into Web3 as painless and frictionless as possible. You can see it here. You can hear it here. This is what this dude is saying. They're going to pay people to bring people in because they need help on the adoption side, which tells me earlier what we saw primarily are bots testing the server and not people playing the game. So that 30,000 number, I would guess 10% of that was actually players that they tested their servers on. They need help with the adoption side of things. The whole space needs help with the adoption side of things. It's easy to look at like DeFi, which is decentralized finance. It's easy to look at DeFi when it comes to blockchain and crypto and see the value in it. At least that's my opinion. I feel like if people are coming into crypto, they can look at decentralized finance called DeFi and they can say, okay, I see the value of this. I see this. I understand. Okay. But it's harder to explain how you're going to incorporate Web3 and gaming into it. It's another level of difficulty. It's a notch higher. So they're going to have to make it as frictionless as possible to bring people in.
And CEO of Star Atlas, Michael Wagner.
We launched StarPath in 2022. It was a hybrid Web 2, Web 3 approach. Failed for a variety of reasons. But fortunately, we connected up with the team at BuddyLink earlier this year, and we were able to integrate.
Let's Go's asking, did Sam Bankman-Fried was just found guilty? Did that change anything with Solana? No. No. Other than FTX, which was the company that Sam Bankman-Fried owned, had a lot of Solana that they actually just recently sold up on the market. So, like, as far as I know, that came out in phases, and they sold the Solana that they currently had, or they had quite a bit of Solana. It was in the tens of millions, I think, in terms of the token amount. And that hit the market and it was bought up. But yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried is the exact problem of the industry. There's your snake oil salesman. He came in, he took for his own, he swindled people out of their money just like Bernie Madoff did. He did the same thing Bernie did, man. But he used crypto for his own means. Crypto's neutral. Crypto's a technology. Crypto has no inherent personality. Crypto is, it's a tool. It's a tool, right? We attach the value. We attach the value to it, right? What Sam Bankman-Fried was just horrible. It's the same thing Bernie Madoff did.
A fully on-chain Web3 affiliate and referral system. The result of that relationship is just over the last couple of weeks, we've already signed up 2,000 new users. We've distributed over $150,000 in rewards to those users, and we've generated an additional $1 million in marketplace transaction volume on our marketplace.
Michael's happy about that, man. Michael's happy about that. Let's rewind this.
Volume on our marketplace.
And with that, we'd really like to introduce the final thing today, which is our Buddy app. So you'll be able to share and earn on mobile everywhere you go. Obviously debuting on the Saga, Play Store, and Google Play, and the App Store.
This could be big,
They need the money.
Obviously within the game itself, the connection there, I think, obviously is the kind of the kickstart for where this tech is going to go. I want to talk about brand IP.
It's pretty seamless from what I've seen, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Dig is saying there's too many steps to even use the coin, right? I believe he's talking about Star Atlas coin in game. That you're going to be able to use in game and out of game for purchases, I believe. Then he says some games you have to get a coin to convert to another coin, and not all wallets can use all coins. Then you might need 2 or 3 wallets.
Yes, sir. You're not gonna hate me.
Yep. They have to make a utilitarian wallet that handles just about every coin that under the sun. There's going to be a come to Jesus moment where there's going to have to be a guy out there that can write a wallet that can bring in code of just about any coin that is out there naturally coded into the wallet. You're so right. The second they do that, that'll be like the next jump. That'll be the next evolution. Dig it. I like that. Very, very insightful, dude. Very insightful.
Going forward with what Atlas is doing. Listen into what Wagner said on this.
No MMO is complete without a guild system.
It was an evil app.
So in the very near future, we're going to be releasing our DAC platform. This is decentralized autonomous corporations, the guilds of Star Atlas. Once again, this is a fully on-chain guild registration system that provides access to naming, your profile system, setting guilds' interests and objectives, recruiting platform, and it also allows for member management, role setting, and permission setting. And entrepreneurs are able to build businesses using our IP, commercialize those businesses, and generate revenue up to $1 million without a single cent in royalties to us. Gallia ArtStation makes 3D printed models of our ships. Gallia Merchants, they produce apparel, swag, and other computer peripherals. And Darkcore Roasters, a Star Atlas themed coffee brand. And just since October 3rd, we've already seen 16,000 downloads of our various programs. These are the people that are creating the extensions, mods, expansions of Star Atlas.
Which is going to be the lifeblood. Like the amount of developers come into this like organically is interesting to me. You know, those aren't big numbers. Those aren't big numbers, but those are numbers, and they are growing from since the last time I saw them. But it's still trickling in. But it is interesting to see now. You know, I feel like we're at an inflection point, because we're seeing a lot of crypto. We're seeing a lot of prices going up right now. You're seeing a lot of the altcoin market having a big spike up. I primarily attributed that to Bitcoin going up, because they all follow Bitcoin for the most part. You'll have some divergences here and there with like new coins. You know, I'm just pretty much talking about the majors, and they all kind of follow Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's up around 35 right now from 15. It's up over 100% this year. Some people are calling it a bounce. I think it's a little bit more than that. I won't get into that. Because that's just my opinion, and no financial advice type thing right here. But it is interesting seeing those numbers are growing, because if you can get developers coming to this naturally, organically, I find that pretty interesting.
So interesting IP conversion, because this also opens up opportunity for more revenue for Star Atlas. So it's going to be another way to kind of see those extensions of brand happen in other industries. Now I want to leap over to other things that are happening there at BreakPoint. This is Peter Moore. Now, Peter Moore...
I'll tell you why these things are interesting to me primarily is because this is like being able to invest in Microsoft or invest in Windows without the Microsoft. Like this is going straight to the code. Like if you're telling me now that I can invest just in Windows instead of having to invest in Microsoft, like if I can actually invest in code, man, I don't have to worry about it. It's code. It's doing its own thing. You know what I mean? I just got to make sure that there's a good team behind it. I got to make sure that there's good people. So like, that's how I analyze a lot of this right now. There's not a lot of ways to value it. At the end of the day, there's a couple people. There's a dude named James on a channel called Invest Answers, which I've actually seen on this show as well. And James has something called the Crypto Compendium, and he uses criteria like scarcity, adoption rate, tokenomics, and he breaks it down and he tries to give them value. Very similarly to how people try to evaluate stocks by looking at their balance sheet. This is how James does it with different types of crypto. And it's interesting. It's interesting because it's so damn new. It's such an idea, like investing in Windows, not in Microsoft. It's just like something interesting for me. I find that kind of fascinating.
You need to kind of understand who this guy is. They get into some interesting conversations here, but this guy has, of course, I would say one of the best resumes out there in terms of just what's happening in digital gaming. Right now, of course, he's SVP of Sports and Live Entertainment at Unity, but he's also been Chief Operating Officer over at Electronic Arts. He was at EA Sports, etc. You get the picture here. This is one of those people who pretty much set this industry in motion. I want to go to this next clip because this will surprise you a little bit. Listen in.
From Sega, I then went to to Xbox, moved up to rainy Seattle, and launched the Xbox 360. And not only the Xbox 360, but started driving Xbox Live. And I've lived through gaming being maligned, gaming being scoffed at, gaming being seen as boys in their bedrooms. I found this graph recently that shows you, I think, in one slide what I've been talking about. Look how small we were 30 years ago, and look at where we are today. I think that the key here, and this is where I hand the baton to everybody here, of what Web3, what the blockchain can do for gaming, and if you will, gaming 3.0.
All right, so Peters seems to be all in here. So that's a big positive, especially with someone like his resume. Let's go over to what he's talking about. What is it going to take for really a disruption force in the industry around Web3? Listen in.
I think it's very easy in retrospect to look at your career and say that you've had one of the best careers someone could imagine.
I remember every detail of it. John Riccitiello, the CEO at that time at EA, said, many of you will not be here next. He literally said, many of you will not be here next year because you're going to find different jobs, because the future is not for you. unless you feel you're with me, that we're going to move away from the retailer being our customer to the gamer being our customer, and that's going to be painful. And we're going to get tremendous abuse from our retailers who see us as abandoning them and putting them into bankruptcy. Look, I launched the Xbox 360 in Toys R Us. And I always remember when I joined EA from Xbox, my options were at $53 a share. 18 months later, the stock's at 10. So you go, did I make the right move? But it was brutal.
You're basically talking about removing the middleman there. The retailer was the middleman. This is a lot of what blockchain gaming is about now, too, that sort of process.
We got flooded, fear, uncertainty, and doubt by the Sony PlayStation 2. Now, at Sega, we couldn't sustain it. Now, Microsoft had a few tens of billions of dollars more on the balance sheet. In sitting down with Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, they were petrified, bluntly, that Sony was going to own the living room. Microsoft will be condemned to the office. And if you recall, we said, you're going to pay $5 a month for Xbox Live, and we know the PlayStation Network is free, but we have a better experience. And gamers flocked to that Xbox Live experience, the utilization of blades, the ability to play your music and look at photos and have this amazing collegial social experience with fellow gamers. This was a fascinating time where we actually bought a piece of Apple, if anybody remembers this, to keep Apple in business so that we had a competitor.
Interesting stuff. I think this is a lot of...
Wow, man. Sharing some tea right there. Sharing some tea. Wow.
History that a lot of people know about where gaming has come from.
Wow.
Now we're seeing, icons like Peter that have really seen...
They literally did that because they didn't want to be 10 or 15 years down the road the only guy in town and then get declared a monopoly. Wow, man. That's crazy.
The future, and they understand it because they've seen the framework of how gaming growth has been, and it seems, and it's always what I say, it always, future and tech always repeats itself. Definitely happening here.
For real,
I want to jump over to another topic here. This is Drip on Solana and how they're going mainstream. This is another tool set that's being released and talked about there at BreakPoint.
Dudes, I remember when Apple was like $2 a share. I wish I had a fucking time machine. I remember when everybody wrote Apple off as dead, man. Fucking when Steve Jobs and Wozzy came out, what was it with the iPod? Was that first? Was the iPod? The iPod really lifted them up. It was iPod first, I believe. And from the ashes of Phoenix rose, man. And then you had your iPhone and all the other things came after that. But man, I remember when they were written off as dead. And that was a big flex. That was a big flex, man. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Point, listen in.
And how many wallets does Drip have right now?
I just tweeted a little bit ago. I think we just crossed 800,000.
800,000, wow. So 8x'd.
Yeah.
And so what made them come to Drip? Because there's a lot of different protocols that are onboarding users in different ways. So what do you think attracted them to your product?
Because it starts at free. You don't need tokens. You don't need a KYC.
And it ends at we pay you. You pay us out the nose. No.
You sign up with a Phantom wallet or a Backpack wallet. We kind of changed the value prop a lot from, maybe trading to collecting and just enjoying content the same way you would anywhere else.
This was a tweet by them over BreakPoint. Next up, Matador announcing the Asset Dash Drip channel. This is just how you guys can go into this and start kind of engaging on this. If you're into NFTs, this is one of those that would be interesting to you guys. I want to jump over to one more, and this is Mark Cuban talking.
I talk with Anarchy. He's our art director. Anarchy does a lot of our logos and animations and alerts, and Anarchy's a really good friend of mine, and he's dabbling in Solana and makes his own NFTs because he's an artist, because he likes to create things. And I love Anarchy. He's a good dude in the community, and he always says, like, when he sees chat talk about it this way, it kills him. He's like, man, when I see our chat talking about it this way, like, it kills me. And I'm like, I get it, bro. Like, I get it, bro. Like, I mean, you really want this to be, like something you can, like, he's into it. You know what I mean? Like, he's really into it. It's become his hobby, to do this type of thing. He's got something on the side. He's making like NFTs on the side. And by the way, Anarchy, We need you. We need you for more transitions. Get back to work. Come back to us, Anarchy. Where are you at? we have more work for you. We have more work.
A little bit more about the strategy of NFTs, whether it's a collection or is it an investment play. Listen in.
Everybody losing money in NFTs. Why are you still here? You know how many other industries have sucked? Microsoft was selling for 100th of what they sell right now. I'm going to say it to you for the people in the back. Don't speculate. You know what happens to speculators? They get their ass handed to them. I can stare at my mutant punk all day long because I collected it. I'm not paying attention to all the things that happen on a day-to-day basis, and you shouldn't either. Because someday we're going to turn around, and you know what you're going to say to yourself? You're going to say to yourself, I should have bought those damn NFTs when they were next to nothing.
All right, that's just kind of a joke at the end there. But, the point being is, I think is clear, is that, right now the NFT market is pretty much imploded. We've seen that across all sorts of securities, investments. I mean, maybe some of you own Peloton out there. Maybe some of you guys own some of these stocks that have cratered as much as 120% in the last 2 years. So that's kind of where we are with the NFT market. I want to get over to since we covered Atlas so much, just to show you guys the impact on Atlas, the token. If you guys are out there maybe looking at this one, pretty heavy movement here in just a very short period of time. Nice little move right here.
Look at that wick, though. Look at that wick at the top, man. You got a whole half of a cent right there, a wick.
Base that wick right there at 96%, just in a matter of a handful of days. So that's the kind of movement that is happening from the effect of what is break.
That wick up top that's covered by the blue bar, that's all the demand that's all the supply that people want to sell. So like basically that's a point of resistance above in the 3.5 cent range. But God only knows what Star Atlas was worth like a year or two ago. You know what I mean? I mean, like now you're talking fractions of a penny. It's 0.00. It went from 0.001. So 1/10 of 1 penny to 0.002, almost 0.0036. That's actually a pretty big move if you put a lot of money in it. It's like almost a 3-time move right there. But that wick up top behind the blue bar, that just shows you all the people that are selling right there. So like if that finishes. What time frame is that? What time frame? That's on a monthly. Okay, so if the month finishes like that, generally we call that a topping tail. For you technical analysis geeks, you can't really see because the blue chart, the blue graphs above it.
BreakPoint. We'll have one more video coming out tomorrow that I think will give you guys even more insights to the finality of what Solana is doing in the structure of moving forward, because there's a lot.
This is what Paul's clipping up right now, and he's a little bit more into the crypto side of things. But I think I think this is a pretty accurate representation of what there was. Let's see if we can find any gameplay here. Hold on.
So make sure and stick around for those. Check back.
Let's see if
some of our other videos if you really want to catch up on what's happening over at BreakPoint. And of course, if you're not in our Diamond Circle, get in now. It's one of the best places you can get additional content. And if you guys want to catch me on X, it's at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.
What's this? Hold on. Let's see what we got here. This looks like a cinematic or some type of freaking. Let's see. Very fluid. I love the movements in Unreal for the most part. If you need detailed, specific kind of movements, I'm not quite sure I've seen that from Unreal Engine. But like if you like the fluidity, like it is pretty smooth. It's like butter. Okay, they upgraded the laser cannon noise. One of my critiques was the laser cannons at the very beginning. They literally sounded like this. It was like pew 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 pew. So we've got an upgrade. Thank you. 'Cause, 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 Yeah, you'll be able to buy it. Coop says, is it all based on crypto, though, or can you earn in-game currency? The in-game currency is the Atlas token, and you can use Atlas token to buy with. You can trade with other players in-game with your wallets, so you can take the Atlas token. You can trade it for anything that you've got. You can sell it on a market through QR codes or through a platform that they have. It's very slick. The interface is very slick that they have. So I very much like the fact that you can load up everything in the game through your wallet. And it will load up every time exactly how you need it in terms of like how you've equipped it, how you left it. So it's got PES embedded into the technology. So there's persistent entity, like it's everything we want from Star Citizen in terms of persistence, and it's right there because it's written on chain. So that's really cool. So, you know, you're going to be able to initially, if you want to get in, I think you got to buy some Atlas token, but you can pretty much trade in game all the Atlas token you want. And you can also take the Atlas token and sell it on the market. So there's a lot of different ways you can make money. If that's your gig, if you're worried about that. But the game is like what we're talking about. Like we wanted to see the game. So we spent a lot of time talking about the money side of things. Let's look at the game. So far, what I'm seeing is pretty cool, man. Like the ships look pretty good. The ships, I don't like the fact that there's no first person. Like everything's third person from what I'm seeing. Except for inside the ship. I'm glad we get the inside of the ship, but I'm talking like FPS on the ground. I don't think you get into a first person perspective when you're on foot. So that's just something, you know, that is kind of like a gripe for me. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think I've ever seen like FPS or first person footage. I think everything's in third person when you're on. So that's kind of like a negative for me, but I do like the first person perspective in the ship. I do like the way that the ships look. I love this hangar. I love that you can load ships up through your wallet. I think that's cool.
When I'm in that spaceship, I'm anxious. Who gon' have my back when I'm facing off with aliens? Let's put our differences to the side for this occasion. We are not the same, but it's the same brand we chasing. Same motivation. Mob deep, got our coins up. We the new shit if they ain't gang, tell them shut up. It could be the universe against us. We ain't taking no L's, all we take is more dust. We're a million miles away. Can we make this right today?
Yeah, I'm not sold on the soundtrack for real. You know what I mean? Like they need to work on the soundtrack. Like I don't like this kind of. This gives me like Fortnite vibes. You know, I like the looks of what I'm seeing, but when you mix it with the soundtrack, it's just not working for me at all. I know. It is. There's some salad on the soundtrack. They need to do better with the music, man. It's like you're giving salad vibes to that. Yeah.
Warning.
Yeah.
Incoming salad vibes.
Very douchey. Very douchey. It's very hard to digest with my eyeballs because the ears right now want to vomit. Like I got like the eyes are like and then as it goes through my eyes, it's vomiting out my ears. The soundtrack is horrible, man.
This is what we need. Bad news every time one of us leaves. We're a million miles away.
You better taste the pew poo poo poo.
Can we make this right today? This is what we need. Bad news every time one of us leaves. If our love is the universe.
I mean, these shots are cool. No doubt these shots are cool. Just the music, man. The music. See, the track I believe is in. I do believe people are racing right now, and the hangar is in, and like the surrounding area up to a few kilometers is in. So like I in terms of that, I mean it's Unreal Engine. The physics look good. The shots look good. The ships look good. The music. It's what I like to watch as well, Sketch. It's not just a you like to watch thing. It's a shared experience. Sketch says, we are gamers. You should have skipped to this. The rest sucked. It was mostly gaslighting. Damn, dude. Well, you can start your own channel called Sketch Therapy 360. Sketch. Boom. Boom. It's called DG360. It's called DG360. Am I not part of the algorithm as well? Sketch is like, yeah, you should have left it to the algorithm, spelled with dance and love. You should have left it off to the algorithm. That first half was brought to you by you, DG. You, DG. Am I not part of this algorithm with you? Am I left alone on an island, desolate, by myself, not being part of the algorithm? No, this isn't a sitcom response, Coob. This is something called BreakPoint. By the way, Coob's asking about why so sudden. Why has this been pushed out like after CitizenCon? This is not a response to CitizenCon. Don't worry. This is something called BreakPoint, which is a yearly thing that Solana has. So they were presenting at BreakPoint. This isn't in response to CitizenCon, Coob. Thank you. Backspace says you are the soft, creamy nucleus of the algorithm. I'm
in a fountain.
It's very descriptive, Backspace. That was very descriptive. It's a little bit gross, but I understand it. And thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm like the nougat. Am I like the nougat in a Snickers bar? I can't do the soundtrack. I just can't do it. I want to see what there is to see.
Warning,
like, guys.
incoming salad vibes.
This is me being me again, telling people that create games how to present the game, right? First off, present the game. there's something you need to... Sorry. Secondly, don't give it to us this way. We're science fiction people. We like sci-fi, man. Put some cool-ass sound effects to this. Or just do something like this. Do something like this. Here, hold on a second. Like, give us... Here, hold on. Let's do this. Oh, wrong sound effect. Wrong. That was mean. That was mean, Pepe. That was mean. That was this one. Give it this. Let's watch it to this. Ooh. See, you're adding like suspense and excitement. Just like, oh, what is going on here? What is this? Oh my God, this shit right now, man. Right now on my face, man. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Right? I mean, like characters, mud humans, right? Like what we get? What are we getting, man? We're getting this. What's your demographic? Like 15 years old on this? I mean, I get it, because the only people that are going to be adopting this right now are people that aren't generally older, because you see what my audience, being generally older along with me, think. Listen, I want Web3 to work. I still don't know to this day if Star Atlas is going to be the one that does it, but there will be somebody in the Web3 space that does it. But with this music, the face looked fantastic. You see what I'm saying? Like without the music, hold on. Let me just, without the music, I mean, the face that looks fantastic, man. That looks pretty damn cool. You know, like the depth, pretty damn good. The character modeling, I mean, that's pretty good to me. But you put that music with it. You see what I'm saying? That's tight looking. Like, holy shit, it's a little cartoony. It's a little cartoony, but like, dudes, that's like some type of Star Wars thing going on there. What are they called? Twi'leks? That's definitely Twi'lek inspired right there. What is this? Check out that suit, man. Oh man, can I change LED colors on my suit? I'm sold. I am sold. If I get like an Iron Man suit where I can change. What? Can I pulse like that? I want to pulse like that. All right. Listen, here's my point. End of story, end of video, end of highlight, not end of stream. But my point is this: game first and package it better. I like what you're doing behind the scenes. You're making it more frictionless. You're trying to help to lubricate the adoption. Okay. But end of story is package it better. Package it better. Game first. Why am I the guy that's got to make these guys understand this? Why do I'm just a dude on the internet with other dudes and dudettes on the internet. We're just dudes and dudettes on the internet. And we even know how to do this better. Come on, Michael Wagner. Come on, Star Atlas. Come on. Come on. Give me a break.